Meeting here. Glad everybody's here this evening. Would you please stand for the pledge and invocation by Commissioner Drought.
Bow your head with me, please. Father, we want to thank you. We are very grateful for many, many things. The first thing I can think of is being in this great country and living here in Northern Kentucky, where people respect each other and we have a safe community. Want to thank you for our brave police and firemen and emergency personnel who help protect us. Want to thank you for this council and the leadership of our judge and assistant to the judge. And I want to thank you for the employees who take pride in being the best they can be and throughout the state. And other things that come to mind tonight. Father, I hope you will teach each of us to learn to have respect and dignity for each other and try to teach us to love each other, try to teach us to respect each other, and try to, particularly me, to have more humility. Amen. In Jesus we pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Our next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from February the 10th.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Have a few individuals who've asked to address the court. We're just going to start from the top of the list. Mr. Gary Meyer from Erlanger, please come to the podium. Good evening.
Judge Ackelman, commissioners, I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak today. About a month ago, I saw an article in the paper talking about, people arguing about the relationship with Kenton County jail and Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. There's a lot of people like me who tend to just stay silent about things, so I wanted to bring another opinion or another point of view around that. And I'm glad that the county is maintaining a relationship with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, and I encourage you to keep that going forward. I would have a concern if there wasn't an agreement. It would be very easy for a warehouse to get rented and people be in non-optimal conditions. I know the jailer here, and we've got a great facility, so I encourage you to continue to maintain that relationship with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement so that we can do what's best for people that are being detained and the community at large. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Greta Ettenbaugh, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your... You bet.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. I'm a Fort Wright constituent, and I actually have concerns about the agreements that we have, the 287Gs, across the state. I'm hoping that we don't expand those, and I'm hoping that we don't continue to pursue those types of agreements. Got a couple of statistics. There are 16,523 people with no criminal record housed and detained as of October of 2025. In 2025, over 170 U.S. citizens were detained for at least one day by immigration without access to family or to an attorney. Sure. Can you all hear me okay? Okay. Yeah. Our laws are not always just, and we've got history that supports that. We've seen slavery, not in our lifetimes, but we've seen the remnants of that with an inability for people to marry across race up through the 1960s. We've seen the remnants of eugenics through the 1980s. So the law is not always on our side. Immigration law hasn't been truly overhauled since 1986. So the remnants of what we're seeing, it's not our fault, it's not your fault, it's not any of our fault, but what we're seeing now is a lack of an ability for people to enter the country legally. Asylum is being revoked. We don't have an opportunity for people to come to the States lawfully. And we are all lucky enough to have been born here. So we have the privilege. What I'm asking is not for broad sweeping gestures, not asking for statements. I'm asking for quiet and thoughtful solution. I'm asking for us to still continue to act lawfully and make sure that where a crime has been committed, that's rectified, that's remedied. But for the civil cases that we're talking about, for those 16,523 at one time detained, I'm asking that we not contribute to that. I'm asking that we act with kindness, compassion, and in the best interests of our neighbors and our communities, knowing that whether someone is here lawfully or unlawfully, the likelihood is that they're contributing financially, they're our friends, they're our neighbors, and I'm asking that we act with conscience. Thank you again.
Thank you. Mr. Mohammed Ahmed.
Good evening, Commissioners. I wasn't in Independence 2 weeks ago for the last fiscal court meeting, but I saw some people weren't very happy with demands of local residents like myself who are calling for an end to the 287G agreement. I actually want to look at some of those quoted comments. I believe one gentleman said that we are, quote, knowingly tugging at your heartstrings, giving you half-baked stories by leaving out important details, and that we, quote, simply live on social media. Never mind that millions of Americans didn't watch a mother get shot in the face multiple times, being called an effing B by her killer, nor subsequently watch a VA nurse who served this country get shot over and over by multiple agents. He went on to add, quote, sob stories aside, they, being us, are a vocal minority that does not speak for most of the community. Then another gentleman simply said that he wants law enforcement to, quote, follow the Constitution and the law, and that, quote, normal law-abiding citizens are tired of this. Okay, so to that, what I say is that we, the people of actual consciousness, are tired of this really, in my opinion, mediocre and simplistic way of viewing this issue that's devoid of any complexity and nuance worth discussing, because I think that kind of simplistic framing separates modern-day America from economic decay and despair, along with a dying American empire that we are funding that fuels this despair, such as the billions we give to genocidal Israel, along with the cultural displacement and political powerlessness that results from these factors. Now, anyone who wants to take that aforementioned view of those gentlemen can run with it and deny the reality I just posed if you so choose, but you can say whatever you want over and over and assume your own self-evident truths are valid, but that doesn't actually make them true. So opposing this isn't some fringe vocal minority. I think what's actually fringe is just going along with this as a law-abiding citizen without questioning how effective is this, why is it effective, who benefits, and does it fight the problems in America that I mentioned? So not to be a broken record, but we can achieve stability, unity, and civic trust through common sense reforms that don't resort to militarization. The English immigrant and founding father Thomas Paine said in exact words that, quote, the cause of America is in great measure the cause of all mankind. So if you take that at face value and believe in a better America like I do, let's combine our empathy with our cognitive abilities to create wise-minded solutions instead of relying on reductive, crude, and dehumanizing narratives. But I digress. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Mr. Randy Evans.
Well, good evening, and I was going to speak about something else tonight, but I think I'm going to change that. Now, in this country, what's been going on with immigration and stuff, and supposedly people like Minnesota who are peacefully demonstrating. You know, people come to this country and they want to use what we have, what we use, how our government has found our republic, not a democracy, and they want to use it against us. Now, if we were in another country and we did the things those people did, we would be beat and maybe killed. And people come to this country and they want to use our laws and our customs and all that stuff against us. They want to turn this into, well, they want Islam over here. They want it to be an Islam state or Islamic state. They want Sharia law where women will be half a man. And we should stand up against that whenever it comes by, whenever anybody tries to impose it. Because if you don't, this country's going to be in trouble. It won't exist anymore. It just won't exist. It'll be gone. So, that's all. Thanks.
Michael Staverman.
Good evening. I want to thank the Fiscal Court once again for having me and hearing my address, as well as all the concerned citizens that have arrived here today to speak both for and against our issue. 2 weeks ago, we visited the Kenton County Detention Center at the behest of Jailer Fields. He was very gracious. He brought us in. He had an extended dialogue with us, and some of our concerns were alleviated somewhat. But others were confirmed. As of February 5th, the Kenton County Detention Center that we're all holding in such high esteem was 49 individuals above capacity. At the time of our visiting, about a week later, it was still above capacity, and I expect it still is above capacity right now. Jailer Fields indicated that overcrowding would be a concern headed into the warmer months, as the local population would increase along with local crime, as it always does in the spring and summer. According to the UN, overcrowding in prisons and detention centers reduces access to food, health care, and rehabilitative services, turning prisons into dangerous environments not only for those housed there, but also those who work there. Reduction in services would affect both federal ICE detainees, immigration and non-immigration, as well as local prisoners, who would see their access to needed resources reduced. Jailer Fields assured us he would seek to reduce ICE detainee levels in the coming months to maintain acceptable standards of care for all of those in the Kenton County Detention Center. I ask you, the fiscal court of this county, to do your job of oversight to ensure that conditions within the Kenton County Detention Center are maintained within acceptable standards and overcrowding does not get worse, as I expect it will in the coming months. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda. We have under general business, we have a request for approval for the payment in lieu of taxes agreement for the, it's a building, Morphoma Corp. This is in Ellesmere. Great project, Joe.
Well, I had a commissioner ask me a little more information about Morphoma Corp. And it's an affiliate of Fleury Michon, a multinational agri-food company that is, among other things, provides meals for airlines worldwide. And that's basically, they're going to do a $37 million acquisition and improvement, as well as equipping for manufacturing facility in Covington that is expected to create up to 98 new full-time positions, and approximately 78 of those will be subject to Kentucky individual income tax. So that is why Covington has presented this pilot to us to give half a reduction for 10 years.
So it's basically the higher end meals that you see in planes up front there.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to be making here in
Yeah.
Kenton County.
Yeah. Is this going into the old White Castle production
Facility,
building?
that's right.
Yes. Great. All right.
Great project. I'm sorry?
I don't think the
Sure.
overall system is loud enough.
It's on. We just need to, we'll speak up. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
You bet. But that's good details, good project.
Yeah. You just need a motion to approve. This
We
is
do.
second. Okay, I'll make the motion.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is approval for pay applications 25 and 26 to Dugan and Myers on the parking garage.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And also, I skipped over the request for the approval of the detention center's policy manual. This is a regular process by which we approve the policy manuals.
I'll move, we do.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any other comment or question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Claims list for February 24th. Kurt?
That claims list was sent out last week. Any questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to the budget adjustments, Resolution 26-01D. Kurt?
Yep, budget adjustments in, at the detention center, we have $600 for fuel at the fleet pumps. And then for emergency management, I have $10,000 in the hazardous materials response. That's a pass-through that once we get the money from either the responsible party will then disperse the money to the responding agencies.
Make a motion to approve the budget adjustments.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 930.6, our first reading for a zoning ordinance of unincorporated Kenton County, a text related to qualified manufactured homes to comply with 2025 Kentucky House Bill 160. Andy? Good evening. Hey, you haven't been around so long. We want to make sure you get a chance to update us.
Well, I appreciate that. Andy Vidakovich with PDS. As the judge stated, this was a House bill that was passed at the last legislative session, which basically mandated that no local jurisdiction could discriminate against a qualified manufactured home, treat that any differently than any other single-family home. Now, to be clear, we're talking about qualified manufactured homes, and that means a very specific type of home. It's not a mobile home. It's not a manufactured home that, typically come to mind when you hear manufactured home. This is stick-built homes. They're just assembled off-site in a factory somewhere, and then they're brought out and put together on the site. In practice, they look no different than any other type of single-family home. They still need to meet all the building codes, all the health and safety requirements of any other single-family home. So because this affected all of the jurisdictions in Kenton County, the Planning Commission authorized this text amendment so we didn't have to go through this 20 different times with 20 different jurisdictions. I'll be happy to answer your questions.
And is that kind of construction kind of becoming more common locally, or is this just driven by the statewide KRS?
Yeah, it's driven by the statewide KRS. When I actually asked how many requests we get per year, just for the jurisdictions we serve, it was like 10 countywide. So it's not even like 10 in unincorporated. So not too much. I mean, we could certainly start seeing more, but it's definitely not a majority of our workload.
Great. So we'll come back next meeting and vote on that at that time.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, Andy. Next item is our consent agenda. We've got 9 items on there. If anyone would like to address them individually or have questions.
If there are no questions, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-30 related to the court approving the reappointment of Lee Kroom and Karen Finan to the Northern Kentucky Port Authority.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-31 related to the court appointing Jessica Fetty to the Emergency Communications Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. That's just a note, that is the mayor's rep,
Earlier.
names given to us by the mayors. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-32 related to the court approving the lateral hire of Jeremy Lynn from the Parks and Rec Department to Public Service Tech 3 in Public Works.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-33 related to the court accepting the resignation of Tracy Tattersall as Animal Service Tech for the Animal Services Department.
So
Second.
Motion is second.
We're-
All in favor?
we are for harmony.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-34 related to the court approving the rehire of Lee Meeks as a part-time seasonal maintenance labor in the Recreation Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. On to reporting. Emergency Communications, Ashley Hawks.
Good evening. Over the last several months, I've been updating the court in regards to a project that we've had ongoing with our training program. So last year, the fiscal court approved our hiring a training consultant that would come in and revamp our training program. And after 9 long months, I am proud to report that that has been completed. We had our training consultant come in last week where we had a class in the training facilities down at the jail where all of our trainers were able to come together and have a unified train the trainer event. This consultant also went through and revamped all of our training curriculum and our training program in general. And we recently just brought in 2 new hires on Monday of this week. We have another one coming in next week, so we'll be able to take 3 new hires and put them through this new revamped training program. And hopefully in about 6 months, I'll be able to report back how those changes and that investment that you have made are returning in our new employees.
Got a chance to meet both of them.
Yeah.
I guess that was this week.
Monday, yeah.
That was just yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Seems like a month ago, but yes, they were both very, very nice.
So thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay, moving on. Chief Jones. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners. Just a little update on what's been going on at the PD. We recently turned over 86 firearms that, thank you Detective Scheiding, by the way, for doing all this work for us, to Kentucky State Police. These weapons were either used in the commission of or somehow involved in criminal activity. These weapons will be sold by the state, and the proceeds will be used to purchase protective body armor for our officers and officers across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We are very excited about the recent graduation of recruit Nick Geraci from our state's basic training academy, and we're happy to welcome him to our team. Nick will be in field training for the next few months and with a training officer before beginning solo patrol. And today, lastly, I traveled to Frankfort to stand in support of House Bill 299, which is an act related to making improvised machine guns illegal under Kentucky law. Now, currently, they're illegal under federal law, but there are instances that we come in contact with Glock switches or devices or improvised machine guns that the federal government will not adopt the case. In this instance, it gives our prosecutors and our officers an ability to take those very dangerous weapons off the street and keep our communities safer. And that's all I have for you this evening. I will stand for any questions. Seeing none, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Chief. Jailer Fields.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
I want to talk a little bit about home incarceration. This past week, Kurt and Drew was on standby. Right? We had our Kenton County Community Corrections Board meeting, right? Which everybody knows that's what governs our home incarceration program. We did that so that we could approve the grant application for this next year. Okay. There were some numbers that we went over that were pretty enlightening, I think, to the board, and I wanted to share them with you tonight a little bit. So in the first quarter of this year, which is June through September, right, diverted cost at just averaging $40, so this is what the state says, $40.11 a day is what it costs to house somebody, right? I think that's a little low, right, personally. I think in the legislature this year, they're asking for 63, right, for that to go to. So, but we're using their $40.11 an hour or a day, right? First quarter, we diverted $157,151 in days, right? And that diverted 3,918 days from being in our jail. That's in one quarter, right? The second quarter, we even did more. We diverted 4,492 days and saved $180,000 on that side of it. I shared these numbers with Joe, and Joe brought up a very good point. It doesn't have anything to do with external medical, right? So as you all know, a couple meetings ago, you increased our budget by another $250,000 for external medical expenses. So far, the end of January, we've spent $333,000 and a little change on external medical cost. So there's really no way of knowing how much we're diverting, right? But if we took that number and we averaged it by the number of inmates that we have, right, I came up with $595 for each inmate, right, of what we were spending for that during that period of time, right? And if in fact that would hold true, and I'm not saying that it does because I'm not sure, right? But using this as just a guesstimate, right, which Joe has asked me to do, right? I think that we have probably diverted somewhere around $126,000 in medical cost, if we look at it that way, right? There's no way to know if that's true, right? Because we don't know the seriousness of the illnesses that maybe those people on home incarceration do have, right? But I can tell you the ones that we have inside, right? And we've got a couple numbers here for you, just briefly, right? So far in that time period, we've had 16 cancer patients, right? That have been there. That counted for about 22% of that cost, right? We had 2 people on dialysis, right, during the 7 months. We've had 38 people go to ortho kind of things, right? We've had 26 OB patients, right? And we've had 5 childbirths, right? So those were the big ticket items that are outside of our facility that we end up paying, and that's what that $334,000 has paid for so far. We're lucky because there is a state law that says that we have to have Medicaid rates, okay? So every bill that we get from these medical providers is sent to be repriced, and we get that, and that's a big deal for us to have. So we want to make sure that the legislature never changes that, because it's a great savings to us to do that. But I just wanted to enlighten you about how much I think that home incarceration really is helping us to do. We have now started inside looking at these people that we know have serious medical problems and are trying to work with the prosecutors, defense attorneys, and the judges to maybe move them on that program, because if they get moved on that program, they can have health insurance that pays for their medical needs, and it wouldn't be the Kenton County taxpayers' problem at that point in time.
Do the people on home, you mentioned insurance, home incarceration, do they have their own insurance?
Yes.
Possibly.
Or they can get on Medicaid or Medicare, yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Medicaid gets suspended once they become an inmate in the facility.
Right.
So even if they were on Medicaid prior to an arrest, once they come in our facility, the state suspends their Medicaid, and then they become our issue for medical.
Does that happen with home incarceration too?
No. Home incarceration is the exact opposite. They can stay on Medicaid, Medicare, they can stay on their health insurance.
Private insurance.
They don't become a responsibility of the locals.
But did I just hear you say, though, that we bill at Medicaid rates? I'm sorry, this isn't working.
I can't hear anything in the
Did
back,
I
I'm
not?
telling
Did
you.
I hear you say, though, that you bill at Medicaid rates, though?
So every
for
bill
the,
that we
yeah.
get from an outside provider was sent for repricing, and it is repriced at Medicare, Medicaid rates.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we pay.
We still gotta pay that
We're
bill.
still
We're
paying.
paying
Right.
the t-
It's
yeah.
the question,
Gotcha.
we're paying versus somebody else.
Right, yeah.
And Medicaid rates do not cover the
The
point
co-
is
yeah.
the real cost, but we're at least getting reduced in cost by that
Right.
number.
Yeah.
Because we're the ones paying at that time.
Right.
Interesting little tidbit here, just kind of, I mean, that's, if it's $40 a day, 40.11 a day, that's 14,640. Kentucky, the poverty level is considered 15,650. And I would argue that you, for that 14,650, you're living a lot better than a lot of people who are outside in the poverty level.
Probably.
You get your medical paid, you know, you get first, the attention on. I'm not advocating for it.
No.
But I just find it really interesting that those are the numbers, to be honest with you. It's-
I don't know why the state
I can't
has
imagine
decided that.
that you can house an inmate population, especially living in that close proximity to each other, and with medical and all, and have it be 40.11 a day.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
insane.
not. It's,
Right.
No way.
Absolutely no
Thanks.
way.
Mark, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Mr. Hensley, Homeland Security, Emergency Management.
Good evening, all. Jailer Fields is a hard act to follow, but I'll do my best. Couple things that we've been working on, and we've talked about this in a couple meetings. We are the county of affiliation for the Northern Kentucky Technical Rescue Team, and that team is made up of fire agencies and a few police agencies from Boone, Kenton, and Campbell County, and they do all the specialized rescues. So we assisted them in putting together a grant with Kentucky Emergency Management, and we have received a $28,000 award that they plan to utilize to purchase some swift water rescue equipment. It's very frequently utilized, and so it'll be really nice to bring that into their into their equipment inventory. So we're happy to report on that, and Kirk's been working with us on that through the treasurer's office, so we really appreciate that help. As we're talking about the Northern Kentucky Technical Rescue Team, also the Hazardous Materials Team that we've been looking at as well, we're also the county of affiliation with the Hazardous Materials Team. And as we've looked at this, a lot of the members from the hazmat team are the same members that are on the technical rescue team, and we're finding ourselves having weekly meetings with, or quarterly meetings with these people, and oftentimes we'll have a meeting in 1 week for the hazmat board and a meeting the following week with the technical rescue board, and it's the same people in the room. So in order to increase efficiency, we're looking at the possibility of merging those two teams. We've been working with Mr. Shriver and the surrounding counties to try to bring those two teams together. So there'll be more to follow on that. And then while we're working on that, we've also been reviewing our hazardous materials cost recovery ordinance that we utilize when we make responses like the one that we had to do the budget adjustment for here recently. And every few years we have to look at that because obviously costs increase, payroll increases, and we want to make sure that the monies we're recovering are actually making the response agencies whole for their personnel and their equipment that they're responding with. So that will be coming before you probably in the next few months for approval once we get the input of some of the agencies that will be involved in that. And our last hazardous materials bill has been paid, and I'm happy to report without the assistance of Drew Harris. Drew usually has to send a friendly letter from the county attorney's office, and generally we get immediate results. This one we didn't need him to do that, so we'll miss that service. With that, I'll take any questions.
Maybe you don't know this.
More than likely you're correct, sir, but I'll give it a shot.
But why is Drew Harris sitting in the audience?
Perhaps Stacy Tapke could answer that question.
We'll need him later, Commissioner.
Oh, okay.
It surely isn't because he wants to be here.
It's his last
Thank you.
meeting, Dr. Drab. He just wanted to come, celebrate his final meeting.
This final meeting?
County Administrator's Report. We've got 10 minutes for you, Joe.
Okay, very quickly, Director Hawks pointed out that despite the appointments to the dispatch board, we still have a vacancy that was created by one Scott Hardcorn. Since the Drug Strike Force founded to reemploy Mr. Hardcorn, subject to the county attorney's review, I would ask this court to reappoint him back to the dispatch board to serve in that under his own unexpired term.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
No,
That's really all.
I wanted to stay under 10 minutes.
Okay. County Attorney's Report.
No report.
Not about a moving on of somebody? You don't want to comment on that?
No, I don't know that he deserves to be recognized since he's leaving us, but since he's here, I guess I'll say something.
You looking at me?
No, I'm looking at Mr. Harris in the audience, but I know you'll appreciate it.
I'm not planning on leaving till December.
It is Drew's last meeting with us. He is going to the private sector, so we will certainly miss him, and you can boo him. That's just fine.
Well,
I will say publicly, though, Drew, the fact is saying thanks for a lot of great work. Both taking dumb questions from me and decent ideas maybe every now and then, but really, really just doing a great job. And your intelligence and work ethic, and I think your service to the county has been fantastic. And I know that I'm sure beyond whatever I saw, even though you're supposed to stay forever, but we do wish you the best and do want to say thanks for great work and all the things you've done. So.
yeah, I'd like to thank Drew also because I found you to be very competent, and also you're in the Hall of Fame, the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Wish you good luck and hope you make a lot of money.
Well, and and Drew, I hope you're just like Scott and Joe, and you just find your way back here somehow.
Very good. So, Commissioner's Report. Commissioner Sewell.
I have nothing. Thank you.
Commissioner Drought.
Okay. Now, I don't know if the people out in the audience are as particular as me, but I don't like running over these sewer lids, you know? Some of the sewer lids are like potholes to me. They're so disturbing. I can see, look, the way you're looking at me, you don't really care that much.
They do.
But it bothers me. And I've been in touch with Bob Yeager and also Adam Cheney, who's the head of the sanitation district, and Bob, the highway. And they have agreed to look into this problem and try to solve it. Apparently, you build some kind of little thing around it, Spencer knows. But I'd like for, has anyone contacted you, Spencer?
They asked him to pay for it, John. That's what they call
No,
it up for.
you know, the two of them together said they're going to do something about it. However, it's been my experience that you've got to stay on top of things, you know. And I'd like for you, if you don't mind, and if you do mind, I'd still like for you to do it. To contact Bob and also to contact Adam and tell him that I told you to. And then, you know, then maybe I'll be feeling a little better and I can stay on top of it. But I'd like to do something about that.
Sure.
I don't know. Does it bother anybody else other than me?
Especially Dixie Highway, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, you hate it?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. But, yeah, I asked a couple of my friends, and they said they just drive around them, so.
Which is safe.
Not.
Just cut off the guy in the next line.
So Spencer, I think you're committing that you'll follow up on that and bird dog it.
Yeah, okay. That's it for me.
Okay. Commissioner Nienaber.
Nothing really. I just thank everybody for coming, and regardless of what side of what issue you're on, and we're here to kind of have the open dialogue, and you know, policy from this board is informed from one meeting to the next. It's, you know, it's formed over the term of a year and a month, or what, months and years, and even a term. And we've never shied away from tough issues. And but everybody's welcome, and I appreciate everybody's concerns. I do think that we've got probably the premier jail in Kenton County, obviously the only jail in Kenton County, but in the state of Kentucky. And I'm always amazed at the resources that are afforded, both from the federal government, state government, or local, you know, whatever, how efficiently we're able to operate our jail, and the quality of life that we provide for anybody, no matter what your plot in life is, with the resources we have. Regardless of who's in there, whether you're drug addicted or you're just, you know, kind of petty theft or something, everybody's treated the same, and I think our jail does a pretty good job of doing that.
You know, now that he brought that up about this ICE issue, and I'd like to compliment the people that have made their statements, both pro and con, because actually there have been some pretty intelligent statements made on each side of the issue. And I certainly agree with your right to express your opinion, and I've been impressed with the points that you've made.
Thank you, commissioners. I have nothing to report this evening, but we do have an executive session so pursuant to KRS 61.8101C for pending litigation regarding Grand Lodge versus Kenton County et al., as well as any proposed or pending litigation regarding the Kenton County Detention Center. So I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, second, all in favor? Aye. We're in executive session. Will we be taking action?
Yes, we might be taking.
We may be taking action, so we'll be back when necessary.
Back in the
Thanks, all.
executive suite.